Welcome to Yvette's View, where we vibe on good high vibrations. And today it's such a beautiful day, and I wanted to just come and share a little bit of my time with you and talk about good vibrations. I would like to talk to you about how do you stay on a good high vibration. Today was a challenging day for me to stay on a good high vibration. And so that's what I decided to talk about because it made me want to ask the question, what would you do if circumstances beyond your control, outside your circumstances, weren't um, the way you wanted them to be? And I'll say that's me at this particular point in time. Things aren't the way that I want them to be. But what do I do for me to stay in a good high vibration so that things that I have no control over don't affect my mood, don't affect my internal overall? And I had to talk to myself first. This is what I do in order to get back to my good high vibrations. Number one, the first thing for me to do is to do my meditation yoga. If I don't do that, I noticed that I'm not in a good high vibration the way I love, that giddy, laughy attitude that I love to be in. That's not with me if if I don't do first things first. I'll say that. If I don't do first things first for me, which is for me to do my yoga meditation, my bliss yoga, because my bliss yoga literally makes me happy and it makes me in a state of bliss, if you will. And bliss always kind of coincides with happy for me. And I realized that when I wasn't in that mindset and in that mode, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to wait on somebody to take care of my car, needs to be fixed. And what am I going to do? And it's not a big fix, but it's just the waiting for the people to get back to me on whether or not when they can do it. And so I'm a little spoiled in that sense because I used to be able to not have to worry about that when my daddy was with us here. And it just kind of always brings that up for me, especially if it has to do with a car issue. If it has to do with a car issue, I'm used to my daddy taking care of it for me automatically just because he's concerned that he doesn't want me to be out there and something to happen to me. That type of interaction that I'm used to, I no longer have that here now. So now I know that I have to be a little bit more patient and wait for someone to get back to me, which for me, I'll say is a challenge because I'm just not used to having to do that, right? I'm not used to having to wait like that. But I was grateful that I got into my yoga this morning, and it literally did help me. But it took a minute for it to help me. I still had to talk to myself. I still had to talk it out and say out loud what was going on, or ask myself, well, what's going on? How come you're feeling a little lethargic? But I just did my yoga, so I should be good, right? And in a sense, there's parts of me that are good. But when I had those old thoughts coming back up about being dependent and depending on someone else to do something for me was starting to come back up. And then I had to really talk about that to myself, like, okay, that's not where we are now, we are in a different space, we're in a different area. So, what do we do? And I had to learn to change my perspective because I had things that I need to do at the house to get things organized so that way the rest of my day inside the house can be a lot more organized, right? I said, well, okay, you can't get the car taken care of right now, but there's some things that you still need to do here to get things organized so that way that whatever is outside, when I'm looking for stuff, I shouldn't have to be looking for anything. I should know where everything is. And that's pretty much how I like to have, my home anyway, to know where everything is and not having to look and, okay, where is this? Where did I put this last? What? I want to have everything in its specific spot. And this time allows me to do that. And I was like, wow, I did say I needed to do that. I did say I needed to take care of my home and get it a lot more organized. And I'm so grateful that I had to change my perspective on that all of a sudden I started to feel a lot better. Like, oh, okay, just because you can't, get your car fixed right now doesn't mean that there's something that you can't do that's going to be for your benefit. And even when it's time for me to get my car fixed, it'll be when it's supposed to get fixed. I had to release it. I had to let it go. But for a minute, I wanted to hang on to it. And as I was hanging on to it, it let me know that you're not on a good high vibration right now because you're holding on to something that you literally have to wait on. But why are you waiting when there's other things that you can be doing? There's other things that you said you wanted to have straightened out. You're getting ready to go into May and doing a detox. So there's a lot of things that you can do right here to get prepared for that while you're waiting for someone to help you with getting your car fixed. And when I thought about it from that perspective, I was like, oh, I would have allowed some other stuff to come into my world that didn't belong there. And that was another thing I had to think about too, family. I was like, that's not in my world. Good high vibrations reign in my world. The not having it doesn't belong there. So I have to maintain, and I want to maintain, I choose to maintain staying on a good high vibration. I had to change that thing around. All I do know is that it kind of came in waves. So it wasn't like I stayed there, but it kind of came in a little bit of waves. Like it just kind of was going up and down. Oh, okay. Are you feeling good? No, I might be, but I'm not. But at the end of the day, I was like, okay, do you necessarily have to feel this good, high, giddy attitude in order to stay in a good, high vibration? And I had to even talk to myself about that. I'm like, no, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not in a good, high vibration because you're not feeling all jovial, if you will. I am a high vibrational being. So when I had to talk to myself about who I am again, recognizing who I am again, and having the awareness again, family, was very key and pivotal. So that's why for me, the yoga definitely steers me right on back to who I am. And when it steered me back to who I am, to who I know that I am, it didn't matter about what I felt like. I had to know it wasn't about just the feeling. I had to know that that's who I am, regardless of the feeling, regardless of whether I'm feeling that is who I am. Let me know down in the comments, what do you do to stay on a good high vibration throughout your day? Because there are going to be times where you're not going to always feel that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to always feel it, but you have to know. What do you do to remind yourself that that's who you are. That's what you want to be, or that's where you want to stay at, or is that something you want to evolve into? What are your practices that you do to get there or go there? I had to remind myself of who I was. And the more that I do that, the more fun I feel. So even now that I have to go and get some stuff organized, I'm feeling better about getting my organization on. I'm like, that's going to work out perfectly, because then once that's organized, I'll be able to go straight to this, straight to that. That started to make me feel happy. Who knew that just getting stuff organized was going to bring such joy? I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what was actually even going on with me just today, of how I was feeling and how I chose to get back to a state of being, even regardless of how I felt initially, and how I really wanted to get back to that feeling, because every time I'm back in my good high vibrational feeling, everything just seems to work out, at least to me and for me, in the that's going to be best for me. It just does. And so for me, it was very vital for me to get back to that feeling. It was vital for me to know as well that I am this good high vibrational being. I had to know that first. I had to remind myself of that. And that was my process. And that's what's important for me today. So with that being said, family, I want you to remember that you are a good high vibrational being. With that being said, family, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Don't forget to hit the word all so that you're notified whenever I post a video. And just stay on a good high vibration, family. Peace.